How do you raid a man and then destroy him more viciously with words? This is how.
Mr. President, have you been briefed on the FBI raid of John Bolton?
No, I don't know about it. I saw it on television this morning. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. He's a real sort of a lowlife.
Yeah, that's the words from the President of the United States that were just reimagined through baby form. As why not? Because we live in an ever so ridiculous world. As right now, there are some very interesting blue anon theories related to the military buildup in Washington, D.C., as some people are saying that this could be a direct response to major things coming, especially when it might be the arrest of some major, big Democratic and deep state players that might want to resist Donald Trump here. Now, is that the official reason why there's troops in Washington, D.C.? As, of course, a lot of people are speculating, a lot of people are theorizing. Yeah, that does make sense, because if you're about to pull off a big power move, especially against extremely powerful people, you want to make sure that your safety is guaranteed, especially when you're making big bombastic moves, which individuals like Alex Jones, who has his ear to the ground, says are in the works here. We're going to be playing this clip as well as other clips going around here, as of course these theories I think are worth talking about. And if you think so as well, subscribe, click the notification button. We definitely appreciate all the time that you spend with us. As listen, we're living in very wild, crazy times where Donald Trump is fully unleashed, whether you like that or not. We're living in a scenario where we're dealing with a totally different beast here, as Donald Trump just came out and doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on how the Autopen of Joe Biden, who pardoned a whole bunch of people, is, quote, null and void, as he's saying that every last person pardoned should be, quote, prosecuted. And some people are saying those prosecutions are coming, and when they do come, the military is going to be in Washington, D.C. in order to make sure the peace is kept here. That's the theory of what's going on here. Here's what President Trump said earlier today.
Pen that can do that. Right? Look at that, Pam. Is that a good signature? Seriously, is that a good signature? Who can write like that? Nobody. I don't know. That's the other thing. I assume we're looking at the whole Autopen scam.
Sir.
Because the person that ran it said he spoke to it briefly twice about nothing. That means that all those pardons that he gave to some very bad people, very unpatriotic people, very evil people, it looks to me like those pardons are worthless. Because, number one, you shouldn't use an Autopen, very specifically. But if you do, it has to be a very good reason. And they have to know that the president wanted it. The president didn't want this. The president didn't know he was alive, okay? He never approved any of this stuff. He wasn't for open borders and all the other things. He was never for open borders. I've known Biden a long time. He was never very sharp, but he was never in favor of open borders and all of the other things he did to destroy our country. Let's go.
Lastly, sir, this is...
Yep, and then he signed a whole bunch of other executive orders as MSNBC is still reeling at one of their main compatriots, John Bolton, as they just wrote a very interesting article with this voluptuous woman on here saying the John Bolton search should be a wake-up call for every American. Like, okay, the Democrats literally raided Donald Trump's home and had the FBI go through his wife's underwear, and his surrogates and his supporters and other individuals. So please, what should have been a wake-up call is the weaponization of the justice system that happened under the Biden administration that arrested the former president of the United States, made him a convicted felon, and had him facing 700 years in jail. Yeah, that right there was the big wake-up call. Now, a lot of people are saying, look, unless you retaliate, Donald Trump, they're going to do it again once they get into political office. All signs indicate that as yes. Other people are making an argument, hey, Donald Trump, let's relax here a little bit because, again, you're going to go tit for tat, and unless you kind of de-escalate here, things are going to escalate. That's another kind of point of view that some people are saying. Now, I would say there still needs to be a reckoning. There still needs to be some kind of justice and accountability. And I'm more on the side of, honestly, the criminal class, the deep state, being held accountable. Now, all that happened was a search warrant. There wasn't really any kind of charges placed yet, but we're hearing that there are secret grand jury indictments unfolding and going on right now behind the scenes. As soon they're going to be released to the general public, and some very powerful people are going to be arrested. And again, people are saying, well, this is why we got the National Guard there, in order to make sure that these arrests go through and that there's not a big pushback by the establishment, by the swamp, by the former Democrats from resisting and fighting the calls for action by Donald Trump here. As Alex Jones here came out in an important video and says, hey, the American people want action. They want indictment. They want justice. After being, quote, politically prosecuted in a court and shut in the ear, don't you think President Trump wants action more than anybody? Yep. As a lot of people are saying, look, we're getting memes of people getting arrested, but that's not enough here. Did this administration listen to the people saying, listen, we don't want to be Bill Gates, we don't want to be means, we want legitimate action? Will that actually be happening here? According to Alex Jones, yes. And listen, Alex Jones is more right than he is wrong. Now, before playing this clip by Alex Jones, we wanted to tell you about WeAreChange.shop, where we have amazing, incredible teas. You scroll down here, bada bing, bada boom. We got my favorite, the healthiest one is the organic green tea, lemon ginger tea, which is in a loose leaf form, as we have Dr. Rhonda Patrick explaining. Most teas have extreme amounts of microplastic in it, not just from the tea bag. Don't get tea bagged. That's our tagline. But most importantly, even in cans, most cans, plastic lining, by the way, and hot tea being poured into it has it leaking everywhere. This is what she had to say.
My team can make you some tea if you'd like some tea.
I would love some loose leaf tea in a metal cup.
Why don't you want this tea?
There have been studies that have come out that these tea bags are made of, there's plastic polymers in them. And so there's thousands of microplastics that are released in every milliliter of tea from these tea bags. And there's a variety of different tea bags. Essentially all of them release microplastics. The ones that look like they won't, release them.
Exactly. And that's why I started my own loose leaf form of tea. This is green tea, organic tea with lemon and ginger. We only have 37 of them left in stock, and you get a big bag of them. And then that big bag, you get a whole bunch of tea. You get a whole bunch of batches of tea there that truly do save you a whole bunch of money comparatively than just buying iced tea or buying tea at the store filled with microplastics. You want to avoid all that. This is the best cost-saving type of situation that you could get yourself, as of course our mascot is a little happy testicle that says sip happens, don't get tea bagged. Lemon ginger flavored tea. It's really great. Green tea, organic tea. Can't recommend it enough. Get it. A lot of people are like, I like coffee. But then they get the jitters and they're like, I'm freaking out. I had too much coffee. Tea is a little bit less caffeine. I just like it because during the middle of the day, like right now, I'm like, like I could use a little bit of I don't want full on caffeine. I want a little bit of caffeine just to get a little buzz. Right here, I'm gonna be getting some lemon ginger tea. You get yours. WeAreChange.shop. Scroll down, get the tea. Now, let's see what Alex Jones has to say about all this. Since I think everything that he's saying, he's absolutely right about, as he's explaining how the deep state is about to get hit with a massive Justice Department earthquake that's going to have a lot of these people arrested and held accountable for their illegal actions.
Tell and Pam Bondi in 6 months will not be in the DOJ and at the FBI if these indictments haven't happened. Period. That I can guarantee you. And I'm not saying they're villains yet. I'm not saying they're weak yet. I'm just telling you right now that
So what Alex Jones is talking about here is he's saying if Pam Bondi and Kash Patel don't arrest the big players now, they're going to be complicit in covering it up. And now look, the secret societies, the deep state, they have many ways of getting to people, threatening them, threatening their families, scaring them, having compromised a bunch of people. The situation is that some people are stopping the DOJ from executing these particular tasks, these particular arrests. A lot of people believe it's Donald Trump calling the shots, saying, hey, don't arrest these people. Other people are saying, no, it's actually Pam Bondi and Susie Willis. Other people are saying, no, it's actually Kash Patel. What's really going on here? I don't know. We do not know. But as Alex just stated here, if there's not major action in 6 months, Kash Patel and Bondi are going to be out of there, hinting at the fact that it's probably them that are responsible for holding up some of these arrests, allegedly. Other people squarely put all the blame on Donald Trump here. But if there are going to be major firings, it is going to be indicative of the theory that's going on here.
American people want action. They want indictments. They want justice. They want retribution for what these crooks have done, open and shut. And don't you think Trump, who they tried to kill multiple times and persecute the living snot out of, don't you think he wants it more than anybody? Don't you think General Flynn wants it with all they did to him?
Oliver Stone, James O'Keefe, a whole bunch of people. Meme lords arrested, prosecuted by the DOJ here. And obviously people want to make sure that there's going to be some kind of political, legal repercussions for the people who clearly violated the law here. Now, there's also another former Department of Homeland Security official that is signaling that he could be next after the John Bolton FBI raid, saying, quote, we expect it. Now, this is my kind of main issue with it, because if you are carrying out such a grand type of arrest of all the evildoers, the deep state in our system, you don't project that you're doing it. You don't start off with one small player and then you kind of warn everybody else to get ready. You don't meme about it. And this is why I believe some of the theories about, no, the National Guard troops are there for the big mass arrests. Listen, I think there's like a maybe 5-10% chance that is actually the truth here, to be quite honest with you. I think it's really something else here. Because either this is being handled extremely poorly and the criminals are being told, hey, lawyer up, hey, hide the evidence, hey, destroy, hey, listen, they just did Bolton, hey, Obama, hey, Clinton. Let's get those hard drive destroying tools out. Let's go hit some hard drives together. Let's go delete some emails, just like Hillary Clinton did before. Let's hide any incriminating information they have on ourselves. As Miles Taylor, a former DHS head, said that he could be the next target of President Trump's attack as John Bolton was raided. He says that he served as deputy chief of staff at the DHS under Trump's first term and was asked by MSNBC's John Capehart about the raid and whether he is concerned about the administration's next move. He said, yeah, we expect it. I mean, really, we expect it, he told Capehart, saying, and that's what is surreal about this, is we can all hear, as we're talking about this, be so certain of the president's revenge campaign to know potentially who the next target might be or of those next targets. Now, again, the foreshadowing, the signaling here isn't smart if you're doing these type of maneuvers. The former DHS added, I mean, when my wife and I woke up and saw the news, she basically said to me, it's coming. And I think a lot of people see that. Now, who's next? I think there's going to be a lot of scrutiny against General Milley, against Comey, against Clapper. I think those individuals do understand. And I bet already they have the best lawyers in town, okay? I bet that they have already destroyed a lot of their kind of incriminating evidence against them. So this is why I question everything that kind of happens and goes on here. Alex Jones also said the Trump DOJ is going for massive indictments of deep state leaders as well as the minions. Here's the clip of what he said during an earlier video in his car.
My mission over 30 plus years is to expose the globalist systems so humanity can come together against their transhumanist death cult. And to carry that mission out, I need to be accurate. I need to have great research. I need to have great sources. Everything with me is about being truthful and being tomorrow's news today. Alex Jones is right, tip jar. I mean, it's a cliche. So yesterday, I talked to Ed Martin, the head strike force lawyer with billions of dollars under him and thousands of people at his disposal. And we talked about 45 minutes, and most of what he told me, he said was, should be on the record. Only a few things weren't. And a lot of this was exclusive information because I've known Ed for really 24, 25 years. You don't know about his background. I mean, he's been like hardcore anti-globalist for 40 years. I mean, so he's been doing it longer than I have. And headed up some of the most important organizations we've got that were literally set up in the McCarthy era to fight the communists, the proto-globalists and the rest of it. So, I mean, he's like expert on all this, head of the Eagle Forum, you name it. So that's how I've known him so long. And all the work he has done previously as a prosecutor, he's known as, really being smart and having big balls. So he just told me a lot of this incredible information. So I went on air today and I said, I'm going to release most of it tomorrow, but I said, I'm going to release a lot of it right now. And I was just dropping bombshell after bombshell. And then I see in the comments people going, oh, you're making us wait. Where's all this huge information? And I'm like, even Grok got it right with its summary about, I'm telling you where the grand juries are open. I mean, like for real, from the head of the task force, I'm telling you about how they've got all Jack Smith's emails and stuff where he was going to set up these huge unlawful tribunals for thousands of people in D.C. I mean, just super tyrannical, real martial law stuff. How they already got a bunch of them, clear cut on just clear cut tax evasion.
And again, the elites do a lot of tax evasion. They do it through charities and organizations. We're philanthropic as we give money to our friends that give it back to us in weird kind of way. Clinton Global Initiative is the first thing that kind of pops up here. But when you look at the huge amount of money that kind of goes in and out of Washington, D.C., I think every president except for Donald Trump enriched themselves extremely significantly, other than Donald Trump, after leaving political office. How did you get that? Oh, yeah. Consulting. Yeah, really. Oh, yeah, that's great. As you sold this country out and, of course, did favors for people. And then they repay the favors later, being like, oh, yeah, we'll give you a nice consulting job at Goldman Sachs here, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. Yeah, let's give them a reward here from the military-industrial complex. Yeah, you'll sit on the board of advisors. Yeah, oh, yeah, we got the incredible book deal here. And we'll give you $200,000 for speeches. Again, a lot of it is just absolute nonsense. And our system is extremely corrupt here. There's a lot to pull the string on in order to actually arrest people that are corrupted. Listen, one thing that I like about Donald Trump, he takes a jet from Qatar. He tells everyone about it. He's like, yeah, I'm taking the jet. Damn right. He's like, yeah, give me gifts. Bring them out. What do you got for me, Steve Jobs? What do you got? What do you got, Apple CEO? What do you got? Oh, you got, okay. Listen, that's honest. I don't like what happened with Intel, but listen, Donald Trump, I would say one of the most investigated men on earth. The Clintons, the Democrats, lots of skeletons in their closet. Now, one thing I just don't like is how long this took. If you're going to take this action, you should have taken it as soon as you get into political office. Why? Because there's no time to waste here. The longer you signal, the longer you meme, the longer you wait around, the longer you sit on your hands, you kind of got to wonder what's really going on here. As now, a lot of people are saying the National Guard troops are there to make sure that when all the Democratic politicians are going to be taken out, that there's not going to be any riots and upheavals here. And again, there was already soft type of riots in Los Angeles based on ICE raids. A lot of people expect more kind of summer of love type of events, and they're probably going to be coming. But I'll be honest with you, when you're in a state where people are literally forced to live like this with locked up Doritos for $1, you're not living in a civil society. As Donald Trump also just signed an executive order ending cashless bail, which predominantly will affect a lot of the kind of poorer criminals out there. And saying, hey, we're going to cut federal funding to all the states that still allow it. I'm not a big fan of executive order, but when we look at the crime and statistics of what's really going on, especially in the inner cities, my goodness, it is absolutely brain rot to the fullest extent of people losing their minds here. So I believe this move here by Donald Trump isn't some kind of cover-up for mass arrest here, because I think the mass arrest should have been executed in a type of way where you don't make a big hubbub about it. Now again, so much corruption, so much evil. Our whole entire system, our whole entire way of governance has been sold out, right? The government has sold you out to major corporations like Bayer, Monsanto, BlackRock. There's a lot of things to hold politicians accountable for, and I hope they get held accountable for. Alex Jones believes that they are going to be held accountable for their indiscretions, for their illegal activities, and I hope they do in order that we actually are able to clean the swamp here. Do I believe the troops are there in order to have this major move? No. And to be honest, I'll kind of believe that there's going to be legitimate action against corruption once we see everything that is presented to us in a fair and honest, transparent, accountable way. So far, I'm waiting to hold out on judgment personally. All right? Whether they're good things or bad things, listen, whatever you might say, our system is rotten, and I think it deserves a deep cleanse. That's just my personal opinion. I'm going to be sipping some tea as I watch all of this unfold. You could too. By going to wearechange.shop and getting yourself some tea. I want to be here if it wasn't for you beautiful and amazing human beings buying yourselves the tea. And this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/weare.